because there is less space, she doesn't use too much pace. It is going to be challenging if she picks a spot with the keeper up and bowls tight lines. She can actually challenge both the batters. So far, Smriti Mandhana and Pratika Rawal enjoyed the pace, the ball coming on to them.
Yeah, and it's a challenging field to bowl to this for her. She's got to keep it on the stumps and by and large off stump, because cover is out and so is square leg. A bit of a split field. Great to see supporters coming in. But cover is, well, they've changed the field now. This almost plays into Smriti Mandhana's hands, I think.
Yeah, you do open up that single there, even though she found Gabby Lewis there. I would prefer the earlier field with an extra cover. And making sure if she has to find that gap for a single, she has to open the face of the bat.
She can probably pull in that sweeper in the circle and use her short fine leg if she wants protection on the offside. She can use the short fine, move her to a sweeper covers.
And that's what Arlene Kelly is so good at. Just pulling wicket to wicket, forcing the batters to take chances. An easy single there. Exactly what we're talking about. Oh, that's sloppy. An extra run for Smriti and India. 7 overs done, 49 without loss.
It's a strong start by India in the first 7 overs. And you look at Pratika Rawal bat and Smriti Mandhana for India, and probably this delivery being one of those mistimed shots which has rarely happened, and it's been absolute delight to watch the two stroke players. WV for sure will be very pleased with the way Smriti Mandhana has progressed, but definitely would love to hear your thoughts along with Shivani Bhaskar on Pratika Rawal's stroke play.
Morning, Anjum. That is a good start from you. Good morning, everybody. The openers have got off a good start. 50 runs on the board already, and there are no alarms. Both these outstanding batters playing shots all around the.
She's just continuing from where she left off yesterday in the previous game, 89. But there's such clarity and precision in her footwork as well.
Shot. She was just waiting for that short pitch delivery to not only pounce on it but dispatch it for a maximum.
Her onside play is getting better and better. Smriti Mandhana has picked up a few shots to add to her repertoire, especially in the onside. She's played some lovely flick shots, and now she's very, very strong when she plays the pull shot as well. The key to her playing the pull shots well enough is because of the ability to pick up the length so quickly and get into position sooner.
Just looking at that maximum again, she doesn't use too much of her wrist, and that means she gets good contact on the ball every time she plays this shot. You can see how that bottom hand just extends, the bottom arm extends towards the target. She gets the distance.
7 without loss. A couple of changes for Ireland team today. Arlene Kelly. Paula Prendergast hasn't really got going in those 3 overs. Hasn't got the perfect line and length going in the first couple of games. But these two definitely have had the measure and the perfect partnerships going for India.
Started with threading that gap. Smriti Mandhana and then Pratika Rawal getting into the act as well. Just boundaries all around, combining for 6 fours and a 6, these two. Another 50-plus run partnership between this opening pair. Four 50-run partnerships between these two in 5 innings. An incredible conversion rate.
Yeah, one thing, W, the angle of having partnerships right at the top, which has been one area that the Indian team has been looking to strengthen. They had the West Indies series prior to this, now Ireland. There'll be a few more players who will be more confident as each day passes by with runs in front of their name.
Yes, this game is always about confidence, and it's also important for any side to have good opening partnerships, because that provides a solid base on which the strong Indian middle order can build on. It's good to have depth in the batting lineup, but it's equally important for the batting unit to be consistently efficient.
Such a crucial word, consistency. Each day you come to the ground and practice those defensive shots, those drives, those cuts, just to be consistent. And Smriti Mandhana through the offside is always consistent. It's such a
This is why you're doing something to get that game time in, but you still will have your role and your position. For example, when you go into a World Cup, just to have the communication going back and forth and the understanding, that becomes key. If you're changing your batting order.
India boasts of a strong top order, and even the players on the bench, when they play for their state side, or for their franchise, they're usually top order batters. But every now and then we always talk about strengthening not only the top order, but also the middle order. How do you balance that?
Yeah, this is where the batters need to try and have a very flexible mindset. Everything steps from the mindset. If they're going to be fussy about one particular number at which they want to bat, then it becomes a bit of an issue for them. But if they say, yes, a batter has to get runs from 1 to number 6 and go out to bat with that mindset, I think they will definitely succeed.
And I've always had this question, you know, to ask that as a batter, I'm sure you and me have both faced the situation where we obviously have to have that adaptability. A quick single, Very nice from Pratika Rawal, and good contribution from Smriti to respond in that manner.
Another thing that Rawal is doing well is that she's pushing Smriti Mandhana. Normally, Smriti Mandhana takes a bit of time and ensures that things are absolutely under control while running between the wickets. Played away nicely into the gap. Another boundary for Smriti Mandhana. This is shot, begging to be hit. And for a batter like Smriti Mandhana, who's in top nick, this is easy.
With Ava Canning, the angle that she bowls from. This shot is always on for Smriti Mandhana. Anything a little short and on the leg stump. Puts it away with ease.
And again. And again. Boundary to finish an expensive over, 75 without loss. Expensive over, the last one. Easy pickings for Smriti Mandhana. The last couple of deliveries going to the boundary. Ten done. First power play done. There is one question which WA wanted to extend from the last over, the fact that when we have batters who are batting at the top of the order, for example, Aditi Sharma or Harleen Deol, they're all number 3 batters or right at the top of the order. They bat for their respective sides. But when they come into an Indian setup, obviously the adaptability question comes into picture. Deepthi hardly gets a look in, but she has to score runs at the top. How easy or difficult it is for a batter to adjust? And is it that easy coming into an international game with having just the adaptability thing?
Adaptability is one half of it. The other half is the kind of repayment that you're sure of getting from the team management. You might like to do a lot of things for the team's cause, but in trying to do so, if you have a few failures, will the team repay you? Is what they need to get an answer for. And if they get a good answer for that question, I think then there'll be lesser problems in terms of adaptation.
But would you ever suggest that if the word in the dressing room, Indian dressing room, is like, we are looking at you as a middle order batter, does that word go down to a state side or a corporate side and say, right, we want this batter to actually bat in the middle order, not in the top order? Or they might just turn around and say, we decide our own 11.
Constant exchange of information always helps, as we see an overthrow being conceded. But it all is dependent on the different persona involved in the team management of the various sides. But like you rightly brought out, there needs to be a flow of information happening between the corporate side and the national side and the state side as well. And even more so from the NCA as well, when they go and work on some skills. All the stakeholders need to get into the act and have a constant stream of information flowing around. Because in a big country such as India, the coordination part is the most challenging part. Once that is achieved, coordination is achieved, you know, you will not have too many problems creeping up.
Jamina Rodriguez there on the screen, a great example of having to adapt. Opens the innings, has always batted in the top order, but rarely gets a look in. And now, in fact, if you ask her to bat in the top order, barring a test match, she'll take time to adjust.
She belongs to the leadership group now, Anjum. Come on.
Okay, that's inside information, WV. Of course, you would have had it all the way. Just regulation, outside off stump. Perfect timing to the boundary for Smriti Mandhana. 82 without loss. Reduced as the batting order has dropped. Nowadays, even the bowling order is dropped.
Yeah, whenever somebody's tried at different positions, it's also a question of timing as to when the experiment is brought to a conclusion. Looking for the second, and they will get it. It's so easy to give up an experiment prematurely. And that's one of the reasons why sometimes you don't get the desired results that you're looking to achieve out of a player.
Just the last ball of the previous over seemed like a mere push. A chip over mid-wicket, just a single though.
This was the last ball of the previous over. Not short enough, but such is her ability to transfer her weight at the last minute and make the adjustments before she makes contact with the ball is what separates her from the rest.
Yeah, the Indian team will be pretty much pleased with their effort so far. The Ireland team will be pleased with the kind of exposure they're getting in the subcontinent. They've just had a tour to Bangladesh. Now in India, most of the players are playing for the very first time, an average age of 23, 24.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough grind, but that's what is going to toughen them and make them better cricketers. These kind of tough games will fast track individual development and also the collective development of a side.
Yeah, 86 without loss. The regular fast bowlers Ava Canning coming in and been given the new ball today in the company of Orla Prendergast. Another new face in the second one-day international, Alana Dalzell. This is super good exposure for these young players.
Patience that it takes to bowl the longer spells. You don't quite get that when you're bowling in T20s. You don't get that understanding until you actually do it out there in the middle.
Just admire with that perfect timing from Smriti Mandana.
If you're a fielder on the offside, and when somebody plays a shot like this, just clap your hands and appreciate the manner in which it was dispatched to the boundary.
Sublime touch. It's all about timing. Gets into great position, very well balanced, and presents the full face of the bat.
Yeah, talking about the different formats, adapting from a T20 to a 50-over game is a challenge by itself. But if you got to adapt to the different temperatures as well, and that's a big challenge. And I think that is what is going to really tax the Ireland side, coming out of the winter and playing here when the temperatures are completely different.
Wow. Standing tall and hitting that boundary. Impressive from the left-hander.
Converts that to Smriti Mandana. It wasn't all that short. She was able to pick it up and place it in the gap. There are two boundary riders on the leg side. It ensures that she takes it straight enough to find the four.
Using the depth of the crease, and that's the reason she's able to maneuver the ball into the gaps.
Will be a challenge for the fielder. who does excellent to get to that ball. In the outfield, Sarah Forbes stopping a couple of runs for her side.
We get good surfaces at this venue, and this one is no different. Nicely rolled, really hard, black soil surfaces, and they really bind well to produce some fantastic opportunities for the batters. Amol Muzumdar feels like he needs to get in and have a bat there.
50 for Smriti Mandhana as a captain leading the way with her 30th half century for India.
2024 was a good year, and 2025 has started well as well. A 41 in the first game, a 50 to add to that as well. And that a great strike rate too, 142. Just continuing her purple patch.
She started off slowly, but her strike rate is improved. Played away fine, and she will get a single for that effort. 99 without loss, India.
That's definitely not the line. It is going to be a very long, grilling day for the Irish bowlers and fielders. 100 comes up for India with that wide from Sargent. Third 100-run stand in the last 5 innings for India between Smriti and Pratika Rawal.
And they've been getting the runs rather briskly as well.
They've complemented each other well as well. And Smriti Mandhana just continuing her sublime form. 30th 50 for her in ODI cricket. Leading by example, leading from the front.
Not a single ball edged by the skipper. Should be a bit of a difficult proposition on a surface like this.
For sure.
Because this is such a good track, absolutely nothing in it for the bowlers. Not much of deviation either of the surface. We did see a bit of spin the other day, but Ireland are bowling first here, and the spinners will find it a bit of a challenge. They got to vary the pace and try and see if they can deceive the batters.
Yeah, understanding the conditions also is a important factor here. Didn't have a lot of time for the outing before the first one-day international, and quick correction. Outstanding. Pratika Rawal ends the over in a stylish stroke over the mid-off fielder. 106 without loss.
Nicely played. Playing the field, mid-off was inside, got a nice stride forward. Just took it straight. You can see how her eyes zero in on the ball, and she watches it all the way till it hits the sweet spot of her bat. Another 4 to add.
Amazing start for India. 106 after 14 without losing a wicket. And what's even more impressive, this is the third 100-run partnership in last 5 innings between these two. It's never going to be easy for the bowlers, the surface. And then especially when you have two batters who are teeming with confidence and playing shots like that, like she did in the last over, last ball. It's difficult to stop them.
I thought she bowled really well. Freya Sargent, up until that point, was willing to take the pace off. But that one just slightly too full, step hit length.
Fabulous shot. Knew exactly what she was doing it. Why to play it fine over the infield. That's exactly what she did.
I think she picks the fielders quite well. She knows the field positions well, Pratika Rawal. She places that shot over shot fine. There was a fielder placed on the ring. She knows exactly where she's playing.
On a surface like this, one of the biggest learning for the bowlers would be to, obviously you're gonna get hit. It's not gonna be that easy. But then you rather get hit one side of the ground. You can't be getting hit on both sides of the ground. If you want to bowl wicket to wicket, you're happy going up, being hit through mid wicket or square leg, that's fine. But you can't be giving runs both on the offside in that point region, which would suggest you're bowling too wide outside off stump, or square leg. Not too wide.
I think that shot over short 45 has made Alana Dalzell overcorrect. I think what she wants to do is get hit on the offside, just like you're saying. So cover is out, third is out, but maybe a little bit scrambled in her thinking. She relies on a waist swing. She swings the ball a lot in Ireland. Hasn't played a lot of cricket outside of Ireland. So she's got to find a way to hit a good length, hit the top of off and ask questions.
This is good. If this is what she wants to do, try and bowl outside off stump, but she does need help from the fielders as well. That's one thing that Gabby Lewis would be really disappointed so far. The fielding effort was a difficult one, was always going away from the fielder.
Geez, wouldn't want you as coach. I think she's done well. Got a finger on it. She's slowed it down. I think she's done her job.
What can I say, Izzy?
Very high standards, a good place to be. It's a privileged place to be. If you can have standards where you think that's going to be stopped, but I'm sure Georgina Dempsey would have wanted to maybe be able to take another step and collect that one. I think really the placement from India has been impeccable today. That's been a standout, and it always is with these two.
Well, 15 overs done, 115 without loss for India. A superb start. That's the end up of the first hour and a half or a session, because it's time for a drinks break. all around the ground. The timing has always been the highlight of her batting. She's done it again here. And looking set for a big one here, Smriti. Scoring areas would be all around the park. That's what you get. Square off the wicket. Just, the field placement kind of dictated that kind of a wagon wheel. And she's also the leading run scorer season 24-25 as we look at the most runs this season for Indian women's ODIs with 468 runs, averaging 46, 200s and 350s. Got Jemima there and there, Pratika as well. Freya. This is tight, this is going to be tight. Ooh. Had to put in a dive.
The drinks almost brought about a wicket for Ireland. Never a run. Never a run. It bounced nicely up into the hands of Laura Delaney. Little pause as well, which could have spelled curtains for Pratika Rawal. And it would have been out. I just wondered if Freya Sargent had collected. Could she have taken the stumps? But I think it had to be a direct hit. So close that from Laura Delaney.
That throw, half volley, not the easiest to collect. But the other thing we've got to be we should be careful about with the Irish side is the average age, 23, 24, very young side, playing the first bilateral series here in India. Most of them, this is only their second game, barring Gabby Lewis and Delaney. So you've got to be a little careful there when you assess the Irish bowlers and the team as such.
As well, I think there have been less hit-me balls today, even though the score is how it is. It's been a lot of good batting, good placement, two batters in form.
It's up in the air and goes all the way. Was a half a chance in the end, parries it over the boundary. And with that 6, another half century for the young sensation. Pratika Rawal, her third half century in 5 innings. Brilliant from the youngster.
Consecutive 50 in the series for her. Definitely for a second she would have had her heart in the mouth looking at the fielder attempting for a catch at the boundary line. Well, it did touch her hand. A little difficult there, difficult catch, but Pratika Rawal has played a brilliant knock, continued from the first game. We've seen some beautiful timing shots from her bat. She's so good playing the cover drives, cover point drives, even the back foot. Very impressive young kid there, 55 or 53 balls.
Well, are we seeing the emergence of a star? I think 3 50s in 5 games. You can guess what I think. Absolutely brilliant. That was a chance. You'll be glad to know. Deep. I count that as a chance. A very difficult one for Georgina Dempsey on the boundary.
I was careful. Said half a chance.
A full chance, but it would have been an absolute screamer. But I know she'll be disappointed, Georgina Dempsey. High standards for her.
Morans. Down leg side. Off the bat given.
A bit flatter. That previous shot for 6 has scarred her a little bit there, I think, Freya Sargent. So changed the plan. She had been tossing it up, just gripping it a little bit too much, perhaps. And she's great at picking up that line. Pratika Rawal goes down on the back knee and just helps it around the corner.
Another big over for India. 13 from it. 128 after 16.
As the original person who said it. But you did well, WV. Absolutely.
they really pulled things back here. Ireland, last 29 balls, 16 runs. Straight to that fielder in the deep. Ends us over with a single. 25 overs gone, halfway stage, 176 for 2.
It's been slow going for this partnership. 20 of 36 deliveries, but they're trying to rebuild the innings yet again. So important after a bit of a slump in the scoring rate.
Current run rate 7.04. 351 is where they'll get if they continue at that rate. 370, 380, 400 definitely on the cards. The batting order that India possesses.
Few variations as they've progressed, the Ireland team, talking about how Dempsey has adjusted. How Canning in the first spell from the pavilion end she was on the left side of the screen, and now in the second spell, just a little bit of a shift from her towards her left, where she's releasing that ball. So there are two things to look there, where she's releasing the ball from, where her front foot is, that's a left leg, and how her hand, as W was talking about, has also changed just to get the ball that angle into the right-hander.
And she's also looking to put a lot more work on the ball in a second spell, because she's slightly older, and as a result she's looking to take the pace of the ball.
But more importantly, the fact that because it's an oldish ball, rather than bowling to where she was bowling from, which is of course away from the stumps, but the fact that she wasn't getting that control on that new ball. But with that old ball coming through, doesn't want to give any angle benefit, or wants to get it in the line, more closer to the batters, and she feels it's just working for her. It's a much better second spell from Ava Canning.
I presume there might have been a bit of inner conflict when the ball is slightly new, whether to make the ball swing or whether to try and keep it tight. And with the older ball, the bowler is more or less reconciled to the fact that there's not going to be much of swing available. So she's better off bowling a tighter line. And that's exactly what she's resorted to in a second spell. Space now to concede a wide.
The 12th wide of this innings. Had 11 quite early in the game. Thereafter, they've bowled a lot more disciplined. Nicely played. There is a sweeper cover there, though.
The tempo might be on the slower side, but it's a very important phase of the innings, the middle phase. In a 50-over game, the middle order batters need to work the ball around, run harder, shift their gears. This is where all the elements of batting come into play.
Sent back by Harleen Deol. Dot to end the over, just 2 runs off it, 178 for 2.
.85 is the run rate for India. They started rather briskly and then lost their way because a couple of wickets fell quickly. That are the openers.
Crowds coming in big numbers. It is a Sunday, a Super Sunday. India taking on Ireland here in Rajkot at the Niranjan Shah Stadium. Always a treat when the cricket is on. Change in bowling. Alana Dalzell with ball in hand now. Wayward start.
More than a dozen wides bowled by Ireland in this innings already. We've just gone past the halfway stage. And the scoreboard showing numbers of 179 for 2. They're in for a long haul here from the looks of it at this stage.
Pratika Rawal on a roll. Fantastic again today. 67 of 61 with 9 boundaries.
She played some lovely shots to the back foot. It was a delight to watch her play the punching shots. Another half century for the stylish opener.
But Harleen and Jemmy here, they've played quite a few dots since they've combined at the crease. They haven't looked to maneuver the ball too much, especially Harleen Deol. 21 deliveries, 5.
You're right, they need to try and tip and run a lot more than they've done so far, because both are good athletes. They get along very well. They're very good friends as well. But what's been happening is that they've been looking to hit the ball hard. And in the bargain, they're not getting their timing going.
The challenge still remains that you need to get that scoring rate slightly up, because the longer they take to start getting fluency in their batting, the more pressure individually they'll have on themselves.
I, for one, would tend to believe that this is the kind of situation batters can try different things in a game, because the team has got off to a good start. The scorecard looks really healthy, and you're also in good nick. Both Harleen, Jemima are in good nick. Need to try and see this, and these are opportunities that they need to try and make use of. The reason why I say this is because a cricketer cannot be looking to play the same manner right from the start of their career till the end of their careers.
That adds to adaptability, playing in different positions, but also on different surfaces and different situations. When it started with good momentum, to keep it going is a skill too. Gets a hand on it. Does the extra cover fielder. 4 runs. Tidy over again for Ireland. 182 for 2. Pulled away in the gap. 2 boundary riders. Finds the gap again and the boundary.
The batters waiting for the ball to come on to them has unsettled the off spinner, and that's the reason she's dragging it short and providing the opportunity.
Boundary coming after 22 balls here. Harleen Deol, she's good with that shot, but hasn't had the opportunity till now in this game.
Yeah, Harleen has that ability that even if she's had a massive stride towards the bowler, she does adjust her body weight and that balance and quickly adjusts to the short pitch ball, playing on the off or the on. But this is literally forcing it wide outside the off stump. Sargent doesn't want to go closer to Harleen's bat, and she's trying to throw that ball outside, way outside the off stump.
Looks like Arlene decided about playing this shot in 2023.
It's been a good over so far for India. 8 runs.
The opening partnership, a standout performance from both Smriti and Pratika. Were very good in the last game. Been better this one. Both of them got to their half centuries. Were looking good for more. All around the ground. Or maybe the bowlers guilty of bowling a tad bit on the shorter side, but then the batting was immaculate from both the batters. Some sumptuous shots. But now these two have managed to steady the ship after those 2 quick wickets with both the openers departing. This partnership's worth 35. Have taken their time, 57. A good piece of fielding. A couple of runs for Jamima.
Yeah, quite wide that. Christina Kulturali has done that a few times with gloves on. Used every part of the body, anything that's needed to stop it going for 5 wides. It's Una Raymond Hoey down there in the deep. She's on for Ava Canning as a sub-fielder.
I wonder if there's a change of plan post the break. They've taken their time, these two. But then would they up the ante a little bit from here on? To be a little more aggressive in their stroke play. Plays it fine again. Only get a single this time.
I think for Ireland, getting those 2 opening batters out has been so important because of the lack of pace of some of their change bowlers, Alana Dalzell being one. Once the batters get in and they have the pace of the pitch, very difficult for a bowler like her with no swing in the air. So as soon as those 2 are out, Gabby Lewis has turned to the likes of Ava Canning, Alana Dalzell and tried to get some overs in. They're saving her strike bowlers, Georgina Dempsey or Prendergast.
That is glorious. That's what Hurleen can do. Once she's set, dissects the field to perfection.
Pitched up to her. No mistake from Hurleen Deol, who's taken her time to set her eyes in, study the pace of the wicket. Beautiful mid-off drive from Hurleen Deol, showing a full face of the bat. They should only add more confidence.
Oh, well fielded.
I think this is a good opportunity for Alana Dalzell to rethink her plans. She's got 3rd and fine out. There's no pace on the ball. Can she bowl stump to stump, take those 2 up, drop either one or both of her straights back to the boundary and just try and go for ones? Maybe you sneak a dot through by the really straight one that you field and just see can you go for 4 or 5 and over. Well, really tight lines and lengths. Answer? No, not quite right now anyway. I think that's because she's got those fielders back. She's afraid of being hit back over her head. So maybe just have a real quick rethink. Have a look. When you're bowling to that field, you're bowling to the back half. That means you've got to bowl with pace. She doesn't have that, so bowl to the front half. Make them hit down the ground.
Eight runs from that over, 199 for 2. Yeah, the break will happen at 2:10 local time in the afternoon. A half-an-hour break before the second inning starts. It's going to be Dempsey to continue. She's been very good, bowling wicket to wicket, not giving much opportunity or width for the batters to work with. Back to it again. You did mention last over, Gabby Lewis trying to get those overs in after those 2 quick wickets. I wonder if there's the other way to think about that situation and get your main bowlers in and try and pick a few wickets.
Yeah, I think she did that at the start. Definitely did that at the start. Freya Sargent has had a go as well as the only spinner. But once the wicket didn't come, maybe it's just get a few overs in and you're almost counting, right, how many overs have I got left? How many do I have from Orla? Maybe she's actually got a limitation on her bowlers. We never know. We only find out by the end of the game, is she allowed to bowl 10? She's often only allowed 6, 8 by the S&C. And that's the problem actually for Ireland with her as a main all-rounder batting 4. They want her to be able to bat long as well. Whereas Laura Delaney's the other all-rounder. She's not bowled today. She had a tough day in game 1. I'm told there's no injury, so she's obviously not comfortable to bowl today.
Well, that's quite interesting. Obviously, it's a very young side. We've mentioned this before as well. Average age of 23, 24. You've got to be careful, and especially someone as young as Freya, who's only 18. But how important is that role of the S&C in terms of workload?
Well, Orla has actually played for a few years now, and so the number of games she's played is quite low because she's missed out, and it's almost always been, okay, where can we give her a rest? You know, where can she play only as a batter? When can she, okay, she can bowl 4 overs in this game, so there's a lot of that going on. Well, she's also wanted around the world, so she's just played in the WBBL. You want to give her those opportunities to expose her, so it's really a juggling act, and really important that she has someone keeping her on top of that. Because Orla being like such a competitor, she'll want to bowl every over, right? And also I think that contributes to maybe some consistency with the ball. She can't, like back in our day, you could just bowl and bowl and bowl and no one told you to stop. She probably doesn't get to bowl as much as she would like in training. So yeah, it's definitely a juggling act for her, and I expect that she'll improve by increments the longer she plays.
Another brilliant over, just a single of the last ball. And the 200 comes up for India. It's 200 for 2 after 30.
Good alignment there from Harleen Deol. He's shown a lot of confidence in playing that shot, displaying full face of the bat. And you really need to hold that shape if you really want to give direction to the ball, especially straight.
I think what they've realised is Georgina Dempsey's a skiddy bowler. She's got a low arm action. The ball doesn't tend to get as much bounce. So what you have to do, you've got to come at her. Play her straight down the ground. So her extra pace as well means it comes onto you nicely. If you can come down the ground, look at that extra step. Beautiful. The timing of that movement is absolutely perfect as well.
It's in the air for a while. Now 32 done, 209 for 2. Yeah, 53-run partnership. They've taken their time, 82 deliveries. But then now they're both set. and looking good. And especially with Hurleen, I mean, there's a new position for her, batting at number 3. It's only what, last series against West Indies that she started batting in this position. There is a template as well. She starts off slowly and then picks it up. Her career strike rate is around 74. She's going at 60 now. But now that she's set, then expect her to kind of start playing a few more shots. Oh, another glorious straight drive. It's Jemima this time, just leaning into it.
Just trying to match shot to shot with Hurleen Deol. After Hurleen with the straight drive and then Jemima Rodrigues here. It was a slower delivery, a variation. But she timed it well. A mid-off drive. Usually when as a batter, when we find the gaps right in front, it's easier to give direction to the shot.
The slow delivery, didn't time it, but doesn't matter. We'll clear the infield and go all the way to another boundary. Back-to-back fours now.
Usually so reliable, Arlene Kelly, but she's missed on this occasion. Just didn't hold on to the ball long enough, and it was at this point around now in the game one where Ireland looked to tire with the ball. Perhaps the same is happening here. Slipped out. Definitely not what she meant to bowl. And Jemima, well, her eyes lit up. Good that she had a full swing of the bat because she caught it right on the end of the bat. Managed to lift it over Orla Prendergast for another 4.
Bowler 7th. That's a good shot. It wasn't a bad delivery, but went right across to access that gap. That starts the over with a boundary.
It's placed it well. That's what, when you play the shots in front, it gives you a lot of confidence to go across the line and play through the mid-wicket region. Good wrist work there from Hurleen. She's always been a wristy player, but since the time she's come back into the ODI squad, she's worked to play in front, only adding more to her skill.
She's grabbed this opportunity to bat higher up in the order. Has found the gap. And another boundary. She's on a roll here, Hurleen Deol.
As soon as you go through the mid-wicket region from a straighter delivery, you can expect a wider one outside off. That's exactly what happened. Cross-seam delivery, got a little bit more bounce. Just had to beat that point fielder. Maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity in the deep. Didn't get down early enough there, Alana Dalzell. Just goes underneath, which is always disappointing for the bowler.
Under pressure now, Georgina. A good comeback. Has started the over with 2 back-to-back boundaries. But that's what Hurleen can do. She can suddenly change gears. I guess her experience batting lower down the order, she's obviously got those shots. I started out with a strike rate of around that 50-55. Now she's climbed up to 75. In using her feet, but this time finding the fielder. Oh no!
A gift. Alana Dalzell drops the head, and well she might. She was herring in off the boundary trying to prevent the second run. And she should have been thinking about just picking the ball up. Just didn't get down quickly enough. Comes at you quick out here. Got to get down lower earlier. Georgina Dempsey, disappointment for her. She's bowled really well today. Gone for 3 boundaries in this over though.
Yeah, out of those 3 boundaries, she would have expected the fielder to stop a couple of them. This over would have looked very different then.
Those friendships I was talking about maybe being tested.
That's Niranjan Shah there. He's been part of the setup for so long. Such an integral part of BCCI for a very, very long time, Niranjan Shah. 235 for 2 after 34.
Straight, then too wide, and then, well, just some poor fielding. Ireland pride themselves on their ground fielding in particular. But it hasn't been a faultless display in the field by any means from Ireland. So 26 runs in the last 12 balls. They've been given the license almost to start off slowly, both these batters, by virtue of just how good that opening partnership was. And now they're getting going.
Yeah, finally the third comes in. Mid-on goes back. Now wouldn't mind that, Alana Delzel.
Also, the first boundary of Dempsey's over, I think it was a good ball. It was on the stumps. It was a good shot by Hurleen. So I think it comes with experience, young side Ireland bowlers, then trying to overcorrect with short ball, the next ball, and then the line way outside off stump. I think the more they play, they probably will understand these things and how to. Is that close? Oh, had it been a direct, oh, that was very close.
Brilliant positioning from Orla Prendergast. She's really deep in the ring there. I think that's exactly what she was trying to do. Cut off the straight shot down the ground. Because you think that's an easy single. Look how far back she is from the popping crease. And she's Ireland's best fielder, no doubt about it. And that would have been out. Almost a plan coming off. That's when the captain thinks, I've done a brilliant job if you hit. Because long on was out and Orla Prendergast deep, but just not quite there for Ireland.
I wonder if you're the Irish captain, you want to attack a little bit when Jemima is on strike. Because Jemima, her role is very different. And she would want to take those singles and kind of rotate the strike, get Hurleen on strike as much as possible for her to play her shots. It was curtains for her for sure. With a direct hit there. I guess a little bit of awareness from the fielders, especially when Jemima's on strike. Try and stop that single when she's batting.
Maybe the cover and the mid-wicket can go a few steps further to put pressure on the batter. Probably they might be able to cut those angles, because if you start giving easy singles, that's allowing the batter to set.
Yeah, and on the other side, you think, okay, they're starting to attack. They're looking for boundaries. We'll go a little bit deeper. They're not looking for those singles as much anymore. They're happy to take singles at the start of the over. A couple of dots, and you know, now it's a really big job for Alana Dalzell. Get out of the over without any damage.
It's been a good over so far. She needs to close it now. Oh, not really. Not really. 4 off the last ball. 242 for 2 after 35.
And in this over right at the start as well, 100 of the partnership comes up, and also allowing Hurleen to get her milestone. Nicely nudged away to yet again another half century, a third for India.
She took her time as always, but she's got to a half century. And she's in a very peculiar situation because she's got to make runs just about every inning she walks out to bat at number 3. because there are a lot more contenders waiting in the event. She doesn't put up consistent performances.
She showed a lot of character in this innings. 2 quick wickets fell when she and Jemimah combined forces at the crease. Showed a lot of patience, grit and determination, and then the runs have flown from her bat thereafter.
Yeah, she'll be pleased. The couple of opportunities that went to begging after that 100 against the West Indies team in Baroda. Got out cheaply in the third one-day international, got out very early in the innings 2 days ago in the first game. So this will be a nice little reprieve for Harleen Deol. 260 for 2.
Half century. Jemimah Rodrigues is in sight of one. As always, she will play herself in before she unleashes shots through the offside. She's a very stylish player to watch as well. Likes to play the drives through the offside. And she also is risky, an area where she's improved. Always handy for batters to be able to play shots all around the wicket, and that's exactly what Harleen Deol has been trying of late. Boundaries coming on both sides of the wicket, and most of the runs coming through the offside though, which is a favoured area. And also the bowlers tend to bowl one side of the wicket, which is generally the offside. In white ball cricket, normally you don't get to see bowlers bowl the leg side line because it's easy pickings. 34% of her runs coming through the covers area for Harleen Deol.
And with the sweeper cover in position, a lot of singles on offer. So just playing the field in a very smart manner allows them to keep ticking it over. So plenty of singles on offer. She does definitely prefer driving through there. .39 over.
.50 for Jemimah Rodrigues. 7th half century for India. 268 for 2.
Solid innings from Jemimah Rodrigues. A good strike rate as well, 80.7. Entertaining the crowd.
What a pose for Jemimah Rodrigues. Any batter would like it.
Photographers delight always, Jemimah Rodrigues.
Up and over this time. The indication is clear from the batter to the captain of Ireland. We are going for the shots now.
She had to reach out for it, Jemimah Rodrigues. Shade full in length and getting a big stride out and extending the bat to clear the infield. Lovely strike that.
Being dented by the fact that your left arm spinner, who was so penetrative, so much of such a wicket taker. 3 wickets for Maguire. A couple of changes. You can understand for the Ireland team as well that they want to give an opportunity to the probably everyone who's on the team and who's travelling here. Will be some effort for the mid-on fielder. Unable to reach it. Laura Delaney.
The ball eludes the fielder. It is up in there for a while, tantalizing the fielder at mid-on. No pace at all whatsoever. Rodrigues looking to go wide of mid-on. Gets a leading edge. Lucky to get away with that, Jemima Rodrigues. Both these batters have got to their half centuries. Jemima was the second to reach in this partnership. She does like to play those shots through the offside. She does this really well, playing against square on the offside. The proficiency in hockey comes to the fore when she plays those shots.
She uses the wrist really well, whether on the offside or the leg side with this sweep. But yeah, her hockey shots really do come through.
Yeah, Anjum, talking about the left arm spinner not being there, I think you would expect visiting captains to use more of their spinners on these surfaces than the medium paces, but that is not to be. A wagon wheel for Jemima Rodrigues. Predominantly runs coming through the offside. There are a few runs coming from the leg side as well. Played away to square leg and then get the 1s and 2s. This is exactly what I was talking about. The gap that could be exploited if there's no shot mid-wicket. And Jemima Rodrigues does just that to perfection.
Squeezes that out to find the gap there. Nicely done. Kind of has to swat at that one to get it straighter of that deep mid-wicket fielder.
All this while Sargent was content bowling slightly outside the line of off stump. The moment she's gone straighter, fuller, closer to Jemima Rodrigues, she's been punished. Because there's not so much of time for the fielder to run around and stop that. And the power in the shot as well, with no protection, either short mid-wicket or the cow corner, will allow both these batters to plug that gap nicely. She needs to be outside the line of the off stump, Sargent.
Or the other option is to move from a fielder from the offside to short mid-wicket to plug the gap. There are a lot of theories that one can discuss in cricket, but generally the off spinners these days seem...
For Eva Koenig, could she have gone to that ball?
She's actually a really good catcher and really good at the diving catch as well. But usually she's inside the ring, so just didn't judge it there. I think that's an opportunity missed. I always say go for the opportunity. If you drop it, you drop it, but at least go for the catch. You never know.
On this phase of the innings, you rather have a new batter out. Piece of fielding. Hurleen on 74 now. I get ready for that short ball again. She does bowl a heavy ball. Obviously, she's got the pace, bowling at 110. And this surface, while it's very good to bat on, but does have carry.
Definitely if you bowl it into the pitch, it does. I do think that it's been a little bit lower from the slower bowlers today. Freya Sargent, when she bowled it a little bit shorter, it's kind of died in the pitch ever so slightly.
Adventurous. Oh, a couple of runs.
Every team needs them, the clown. I feel like Jemima Rodriguez has an element to that about her. Look at this position. She could have bailed on it. It wasn't exactly the delivery she was hoping for. I feel like Leopold, we saw her batting in game one. She's the clown for Ireland, and Jemima Rodriguez is that position for India.
Strike. Prendergast. Oh, it's a cracking shot. That's very good cricket.
That's impressive thought process, I would say, by Jemima, because the previous over of Prendergast, he tried a lot of shots towards the leg side, but this time she pulled away from the wicket, gave herself enough room to throw her bat over point.
Good comeback. Yeah, going through the offside for someone like Jemima, I believe is a better option. She's someone who works with the pace, tries to time the ball, play in the gap. Power shots or big hits aren't really her forte. Boundary. Too wide down leg side. Yeah, 54 of the last 5. Looking good, these two. 3 more to go. Where would India finish? A change in bowling. Arlene Kelly in place of Sargent. Why, the field, thirds inside, fine legs inside. So is mid-off. So got 3 boundary riders on the onside. Starts over the slow delivery and straight to the fielder. Arlene, what an innings. It comes to an end. Won't get to that milestone, but it's been a fabulous, fabulous knock.
She really made up to that slow start. 89 of 83, trying to clear the infield. Wanted to go over the fielder, which finds fielder there. The shot is on. It's just that it was quite full. She couldn't get the elevation required to clear the infield. Static. They got Arlene's wicket.
Laura Delaney an extra cover. Takes a decent catch, they're never easy over the head. As I say, couldn't get the elevation, couldn't get to the 3 figures either. But a great knock from Harleen Diol. 89 from 84, India 339 for 3.
Richa Ghosh. At her strike rate, 89 over 30 innings. That's a good strike rate. That's a role in this team as well to finish off innings. And can she do it in style here? Another slow delivery up in the air. There's an opportunity. Oh no. It's lucky for Richa. Falls between 2 fielders.
It's good to see the intent is there right from the stepped out. Was nowhere close to the pitch of the ball, but she managed to lean onto the shot and work on connecting it well. Was able to clear that field.
And she was stumped in the last game coming down the pitch, but she's well in now, so she can expect to hit anything she comes down the pitch to, really. Will she win the race for first century of the series? 89 for her so far.
Or chips it over extra cover. That's more like her. Good effort out in the boundary. Yes, the third umpire would be interested to have a look at that. But that's so much like Jemmy. More timing, less power, but extremely smart how she manipulates the field.
That's Alana Dalzell. She's found it a little bit difficult on occasion. She's done really well there. You just got to get something in the way. 350 up for India with that one. Looked for all money like it was sailing towards the rope. And this is Harleen Dial. And she looked dead set for a century. Almost hit it too well. But just a little bit too full for that shot, so finds Laura Delaney.
Nicely done, nicely done. I guess initially the intention was to play it towards leg side, but realizes the line and changes her shot.
Smart cricketer. She knows that there is not much pace. She's also someone who usually plays those reverse sweeps. Very good with the cuts. So this is good awareness.
Exciting talent, Richa Ghosh. That's more like her. Down the ground, another boundary.
This is what makes her so difficult to bowl to, Richa Ghosh, because there aren't many in the women's game who can play a shot like this. On the back foot, mid-off inside the ring. Plays on the back foot, over mid-off. There's probably a handful of cricketers in the women's game around the world who can play that shot. And there's one of them right there. This makes setting a field with only 4 fielders out all the more difficult. Especially when you've just reverse lapped the previous delivery, so back-to-back boundaries. She's not too worried about Jemima getting to a century anyway.
4 minutes behind, so that would mean I might have to bowl the last over with an extra fielder inside the circle. Oh, opportunity taken this time. Soft dismissal. Freya Sargent would make no mistake with that one. Richa Ghosh's cameo comes to an end.
Looking to repeat the dose. This one had a little bit more in it than the previous one from Orla Prendergast. Good positioning from Freya Sargent. Had a bit of time to think about.
358 against West Indies. That was only last month. Tejal on strike. Will only take a single and get Jemima on strike, who's batting on 98.
Really interested to see that Jemima hasn't gone in her shell at all since reaching 90. Sometimes people can get a little bit scratchy, but not Jemima. She plays shots like this on 94. It's not even really her strength. She doesn't generally play through that area until late in her innings, so that just shows you the form she's in.
Cuts it in the gap, and that's a maiden ODI 100. Jemima Rodriguez, what an innings. It's taken her a while to get to her first ODI 100, and she does it in style. Take a bow and strung the guitar.
First hundreds are always special. And Jemima Rodriguez, we remember this, getting at home.
102 of just 90. Been a fabulous innings. Maiden ODI 100.
Great acceleration as well, 50 from 62 deliveries. So second 50 coming in quick time. She knew she didn't have too much time left to get the century, so she had to get her skates on, and she's done just that.
Last 4 deliveries. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Quite literally played it onto her stumps. But a magnificent innings comes to an end.
That's the only way that you can get Jemima out today. The way she was playing, with timing the ball, improvising the later stage of her career, later stage of her innings, you know, trying to play it finer. But she does get her back, but also the wicket. But wonderful innings from Jemima Rodrigues.
They have been appreciated by her captain as well. It's been a really fabulous innings from Jemima. 102 of 91. 368 for 5 India now. Oh, nicely bowled. Sally, the new batter, and on strike, Siley.
Is exactly the delivery she would have wanted. All the fielders up on the offside, and she really soaked in that moment, watched the ball, made sure it got over the rope, lifted the hand, deserved it. Jemima Rodrigues, she really deserved that. Arlene Kelly has finished out strong. She took the wicket, but gets an opportunity here to really appreciate the moment. 650s and her first 100 in one-day internationals. A special moment for sure.
She's made the Irish bowlers play to her tune. She's been around for a while, but finally gets to her first ODI 100. Last ball. He's looking for 2 and will get it. A good last over for Marlene Kelly. Just 7 from that last over. So India finish their quota 50 at 370 for 5, the highest ever by India in ODIs. Last 10 overs, India scored 102 runs. That is massive. It's going to be a huge ask from Ireland to cross this mammoth total. What an outing for the Indian batters. Has been tough for the Irish bowlers. Alien conditions. Yeah, they've been made to toil. 3-5 is the highest ever total by India. And it's here. Yeah, electing to bat first. Started off really well. 156-run partnership between Smriti and Pratika, both of them getting to half centuries. And then half century for Herleen and Jemima, who goes on to get her first ODI 100. Finally, losing a wicket on 102. Now 370 for 5 India.
6 bowlers used by Ireland. 2 wickets each for Prendergast and Kelly. 1 as well for Dempsey, who's probably the pick of the bowlers, along with Canning, who bowled her 10 overs for 51. Now coming into the team today,